Hi there, I'm Corinne, and this is Okay, But Are You Good? Where we check in ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. We having a great week or what? I feel like I have been having a great week. I have been making sure the house is all clean before I go to sleep, so when I wake up, I'm ready for a great day. I've been getting so much more sleep, and it's crazy because I normally hate sleeping. I wish I could be a vampire. Because they don't need sleep. But I'm team werewolf anyways, if we're talking about Twilight. Team Jacob. Oh my God, I almost said Edward. Maybe I'm not that big of a fan. Anyways, I really wanted to quickly touch on like the point of the name of this podcast really goes into how I'm constantly checking in on the people in my life. And you know, they come to me with whatever and they'll tell me whatever drama, negative, positive things are going on. And I'll be like, okay, but after all that, like, are you good? Like, are you doing okay? And so that's kind of where I got the name. Like my best friend reminded me of like, this is what you say all the time. And I was like, oh, love that. Thank you. So shout out Fallon. And this week I wanted to talk about trips with friends, the pros and cons, the figuring out who you should and shouldn't travel with, and like how you figure out where to go. I just got back from 2 really big trips with some of my really close friends that I've known for 10 years now, which is crazy. So the first trip, my husband and I went to Japan and Korea. So that was amazing. We went to Korea by ourselves and just had like kind of a mini honeymoon because it was like around our 1-year wedding anniversary. So shout out us, 1 year married. And then we went to Japan and met up with our 2 best friends and our little brother and his friend. And, you know, this is our second time we went together as a group and my little brother's first time. So it was really interesting, like how much we've grown since the last time we went and how much more comfortable we were there because we knew what to expect. Japan's amazing. They have like the coolest vending machines. The people are amazing. The food's amazing. There's so many cool things to do there that we don't have here in America. So it was before the trip, like we talked about who wants to do what, and we made the effort to make sure we did at least one thing on that person's list. And that ended up like really helping us and making sure everyone's like satisfied and they got their money's worth. However, it is interesting traveling with people who haven't been abroad before or just haven't traveled out of the country without like family or like a group, like an organized group. Like we planned this whole trip. I mean, to be honest, my husband and our friend Sam pretty much planned the whole trip. I was just there for the vibes, you know. I show up to the airport, travel stuff, and I turn my brain off and I just follow my husband around because I'm horrible at directions here at home in a place I've grown up my whole life. There's no way I'm going to understand the train systems in Korea and Japan. So, and Japan's like that's where he'd be living if we weren't together. So, but it's very interesting. Like we are city people and my little brother is not a city person. He definitely likes suburbs, old town. I mean, if he's listening to this, he'd be like, that's not true, but it learns a lot and we had a lot of fun, but it very much goes into I think it's important to, especially if you're traveling out of the country, to travel with people that travel like how you do. Like we want to spend a lot of time and effort and money into finding great restaurants and eating there, where other people's priorities might just be shopping. And that's fine, but you definitely have to go with people who have the same budget in mind. They want to do the same things as you. If they're fine that you separate as a group, great. But I've learned as I've gotten older, like the group just keeps getting smaller for our travel because I'm not going to spend all this time and money and effort to go halfway across the world for you to be in a bad mood the whole time. And then I feel like I'm wasting this adventure experience and I'm trying to stay positive. But if there's someone in your group that keeps bringing the vibes down, it's very hard. And I'm one of those people, unfortunately, that if there's one person that's in a bad mood, they're going to make me be in a bad mood, and I'm going to be in a bad mood like 20 times worse. And it's not fun. I don't like it. I just get really affected by my environment. I think that ties into being an empath, but maybe the opposite of that in those situations. So I think like a tip really is like know who you're traveling with. And sometimes you got to learn the hard way that you can't travel with everyone. And you really have to know your friends. You have to know, like, if they're not going to speak up at certain times and be like, okay, I know so-and-so really wants to do this. So you push them because it's exhausting. We were gone for 2 weeks. My husband was gone for 3. Like, you're nonstop on these trips. You know, we're not just chilling poolside. We're hopping on trains, going to city. So you really have to like take care of yourself, make sure you're eating, getting a decent amount of sleep so you can go. And we love it. We love the go. So if you're not down for that, or you know someone, like just make sure you know who you're traveling with before you book that trip, because then the rest of the trip is going to suck. And you really got to be with people who are on the same budget, because it affects the whole group if they're not on the same budget. And I've learned the hard way, man. So if you're going to go abroad, make sure you know who you're going with, or just if you're just someone who just like is so easygoing and doesn't care, then you should be fine. And our other trip we recently got back from was Nashville. There was 9 of us, all of my college friends. And what we did before the trip, because my husband and I are like type A when it comes to traveling. We have the whole Excel sheet. We did all this research on restaurants, things to do, places to stay, cool bars in the area. Because it stresses me out showing up to a place and you have no idea what to do. We love being spontaneous, of course, but I think there has to be a little bit of the trip planned. So you're not just sitting around waiting hours to get a table at a restaurant. And especially when you have such a big group, it's a difference between when you have a group of 2 or 4 versus 9. Like, thank God Nashville is built for big groups. Like, it's Bachelorette Central. So that's what we did. We made sure, like, for those who cared, we did one item that they wanted to do. So whether it's picking a restaurant, we did a whiskey tasting, we did a museum, and then we just like chilled. The cool thing is that everyone that went on this trip, like, we're all well traveled. Like, we've been places outside of the US, and I think that helps. So like, we're able to manage expectations and know there has to be some downtime and there will be some go in it. But it was really cool that we all got to do something that we liked, and we just hung out, and we separated sometimes, then we did everything together. I think sometimes friends can feel some type of way if you're not doing every single thing together. And I don't agree with that. I feel like it's okay if people want to go off and do their own thing, especially if you're with couples. You might want to experience something just with your partner and not the whole group. And then it's going to be like, well, why didn't you just plan the trip by yourself? I don't know. They just didn't. We're all here. We're all trying to do our best. So that's one tip. Another tip I would say is, you know, see what everyone wants to do. If people have things they want to do, make sure you make the effort into planning that in. I made sure we had a few restaurants booked because I knew it was going to be hard with 9. In Japan, we struggled with like 4 or 6 of us sometimes. Also with Japan, make sure, or I guess this is anywhere you go, make sure if there's something you really want to do, you book it ahead of time, like go to a museum or go to one of the skyscrapers, because we kept not booking that because we're like, oh, it'll be fine. They're not going to sell out. They sold out because we went during Memorial Weekend and then cherry blossom season, which is crazy busy in Japan. So that's where we screwed up, but it's fine. They will hopefully always be there, the buildings we were trying to go to. So back to Nashville. It was so fun, and it's so awesome, like traveling with people that like just know you and like know like, okay, like Corinne's got to eat, or so-and-so's got to go take a nap, wake up with a better attitude, and just like you can be completely yourself and silly and goofy, and there's so many laughs, and it's just a lot of people spend their money on like other things like clothes and makeup maybe, or like electronics. I spend a lot of my money on experiences, which is concerts and travel. My husband and I, we love to travel. So I highly recommend it if you can do it. go on a trip, book that adventure that you've been waiting forever. One of my goals in life is to go to all 50 states in the US and then all 7 continents. I'm like doing pretty good on continents. I think I got 4 out of the 7, which is pretty good. And, Antarctica, I want to go so badly. It's like a dream of mine. I got to go soon before it's gone. It's really sad. And all 50 states, I think I'm at 25. I don't know. I got to count, but I love it. And the fact that I get to experience it with my husband and then people that we love, it's such a blessing. So going back to, traveling, you got to know who you're traveling with. You got to know somewhat of a budget, know what people want to do, and you'll be set up for success. And you'll be able to meet people while you're out there too. Like, we've made so many friends abroad and it's so fun, and you just get to get out of your comfort zone. And a lot of people don't like to do that. They like to stick to what they know. Fine, so be it. But I think to grow as a person, you need to experience new things. And one way to do that is to leave your hometown. Get on an airplane, take a train, drive, go to a different state, a different country. And I think it really helps you be a well-rounded person, because you can put yourself in other people's shoes instead of only sticking by like the same 20 people you've grown up with. That's not going to let you grow at all. You're just going to stay neutral and just keep going through life. If that's what you want to do, fine. But I really recommend travel if you can. It doesn't matter if you can't go on that big trip for 10 years. It's going to be worth it when you go. And I studied abroad, which was once in a lifetime experience. I went to Italy. I love Italy. I needed to make sure I'm vegetarian, so I needed to make sure I went somewhere where there would always be food. And the food in Italy is obviously out of this world. And I also wanted to be in Europe because then it was easier to get on a train or take a bus somewhere. God, those bus rides were rough, because we'd be on the bus for like 10 plus hours to go to like another country. Like, we went to Croatia. That was a really rough bus ride, but it was so worth it. Croatia is amazing. I think it's so important to travel if you can, and just get out there and see the world and like experience things that you might not have the chance to one day. My little cousin is going to college and my other little cousin is in college, and I'm like, please go study abroad. You have to. If the opportunity presents itself, go, because it was the best like 6 months of my life. I think the hardest part was that I was away from my husband, but I think it was good for us to be like, okay, if we can make it 6 months apart, we'll be fine. And here we are 10 and a half years later. So I think like it really is just getting out of your comfort zone and experiencing new things and surround yourself with great people. And I think one way to like wither those like people that maybe shouldn't be in your life anymore is going on vacation with them. Because the last 2 trips to Japan, there's been one person that's like kind of brought the mood down both times. We're like, okay, we gotta keep like the group just keeps getting smaller and smaller. I feel like we went from like 9 people or something, and then this last trip it was 6 of us, and I think the next trip it's just gonna be 4. There's just certain people I'm not gonna waste my time on anymore. And that might be harsh, but it's like, if you're only putting me in a bad space and you're wasting my time and efforts on this like beautiful trip we have, and like a lot of people will never make it to Japan in their lifetime. And maybe they just don't want to go, but the fact that you're all the way around across the world and you're not happy, you got to do some self-reflection on that, babes. You got to work on yourself. I really think, like, I already said this, but to especially go abroad, you have to be with people who have already traveled abroad. Because I remember my first trip out of the country was Australia, and I was like 16. I went with my best friend, and we went with this group, and it was the best 2 weeks of my entire life. And she would probably say the same. And it was like the first trip without my family. I was a little nervous, but it was once in a lifetime. And it was shocking to be like, oh, like these people talk differently. Their food's different. The signs are different, like the street signs, like, and it was so cool. I love Australia. Oh, it's so gorgeous there. And so if you travel with people that have been out of the country, then it helps a lot. And if you're going with people who haven't and you have, that's okay. You got to just give them a heads up. Make sure they get the correct chargers. They get their money out beforehand. You know, you need to do your research. Does this country prefer cash or card? When I travel abroad, I always try and know at least like, yes, please, no, where's the bathroom? Thank you. Just as long as you're trying, the people in that country will appreciate that. And as you know, as spoiled as we are, a lot of people know English and sometimes they'll want to practice their English, but you can't go to a country expecting that they're going to know your language. You know, be a little bit more realistic. If you're expecting that, then don't leave your hometown then. Or you got to go where they only speak English. And fine, if that's what you want, that's all good. But I think it's so good to put yourself out of your comfort zone. When we were in Korea, it was tough because I tried to learn Korean, but it's a hard language. And I suck at I failed phonics when I was a kid. If you don't know what that is, then lucky you probably didn't need it, but it was like, you know, just sounding out words. Again, there's stuff I'm good at. I could list more of the stuff I suck at. Directions, phonics. But Korea was hard. I haven't been so out of my comfort zone in a while, but it was so great because you have to try and you have to be okay with being uncomfortable and you got to do research. I feel like next time we go back to Korea, I definitely would get like a tour guide or bring a friend that is fluent that can get around or just really try and learn more. But it's hard. But that's like kind of the fun of traveling. So, gosh, I really would recommend, as I keep saying, just get out of your comfort zone, travel to people you love that you know that travel like how you do, because it makes it so much more fun. And that it's kind of just managing your expectations and having like the same expectations of how the trip's going to go. And that's how you're going to like have such a great fun time. Like we had such a fun time with our friends from college Memorial Day weekend that like it's going to be a tradition. As long as none of us have kids, like we'll be able to keep it going. Or I guess they're just going to have to bring their baby. But like me and the other wives were all on the same page. Like we're going to keep enjoying our life as husband and wife, like for a little bit longer. We'll see. But in Japan, I really learned a lot that like it so matters who you're with and what they want to do. And like, don't go on trips with people that you don't really know that well, or like people that just genuinely are not fun to travel with. And, you know, our next trip, where are we going? I don't know where our next big trip is. I think we're staying pretty local. We're going to the East Coast for 2 weddings. My best friend's getting married in Connecticut, and my other best friend is getting married in Virginia. So we're knocking some of the local like U.S. states. I haven't been to Virginia. I'm really excited. So it will be good, and you know, just really enjoy life. And gosh, working our jobs, working those 40-hour weeks, or sometimes or more. It's so important to have stuff to look forward to for your mental health. And that's why I do it. I travel for my mental health. I go to concerts for my mental health. It's just something, these are my hobbies, essentially. When people are like, what do you like to do? It's traveling, going to concerts, and reading. Like, oh gosh. But it's so funny because I like All Time Low is my favorite band, but like I'm like, I don't know what my favorite song is from them. I'm like, oh yeah, you know that one song, and my friend was like, no, and I don't know the names, but like once I hear it, I can probably sing word for word, especially their old stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm really trying to just enjoy life and take care of myself because with all the horrible stuff going on in the world and our country, it's so important you're taking care of yourself. And as I said, in your selfish share, you got to set boundaries and not waste your time and money on people that you don't want to be around. We're too old for that now. You know, we're not kids and stuck doing what we don't necessarily want to do. So I think travel as much as you can while you can. And if you can't, that's fine. Just watch videos online and go enjoy your local hometown, drive somewhere. You know, do that 2-hour drive to go somewhere cool for the day and just really do things that make you happy, and you'll be living that good life. Thanks for listening in. I'll see you guys next week.